Hello and welcome to this video series where we're checking out submissions to the Dungeoncrawler GameJam of 2023. And this time we will have a look at Networking by Mason Lane, A Wink of Sleep. Alright. Lane 203M. Let me check if there's anything regarding credits here. More information. Mason Lane, A Wink of Sleep. Alright. Sound effects using from... Okay, well, okay. Authored by Mason Lane. A Wink of Sleep. Alright, well, let's go over the description here. This is a synthwave-inspired dungeon crawler with unique weapon experience. Your only tool is a two-fold ability. It acts as a flashlight scan that serves as your light in the dark. And as a weapon. It is a double-edged sword capable of attracting entities that can't be killed. The color palette is minimal but highly contrasting. In this way, your tool has a dual nature that protects and endangers. However, your scan can also be useful against large enemies. By attracting enemies early, you are less likely to walk into them and have little time to run. You give off natural light and therefore should use this ping to see down long hallways. That sounds very interesting. Okay, space for ability. Movement is queued up, but only up to 4. That might actually already be too much. One queue up is good enough. Otherwise, you might end up there just spinning in circles or something, or that it feels like it's running automatically somewhere where you didn't intend it to. So I would recommend just to queue up 1. Yeah, let's see and have a look into Networking by Mason Lane. And here we are. So I like the music and the art style I also already like. Player lives 3. Okay, you are looking for military secrets on this mainframe, but must pass 3 levels of security. Get to the packets. They are hostiles. Your ability works twofold as a weapon and the project light. It will destroy small entities, but not large entities who only appear when triggered by light. Okay. Okay. So regarding... That's a very nice graphical effect. So the turning is fine. But yeah, and in this case, I mean it's nice that the movement... Yeah, so it should definitely not queue up more than just 1. Because that way, if you... The movement is very slow, and then it executes all the spins, for example, at the same time. And if I move, let's say, forward, forward, right, forward, forward. Yeah. This feels like it's then doing things automatic. The idea of queuing up things, which is also mentioned in the jam description, or it's mentioned in the jam description because of that problem, I think. So that usually when you're going forward and do not have this queuing up, that might often result in basically commands being cropped away. So that you basically doing inputs and nothing is happening. And this is just to avoid that your command is executed and you're moving, and that gives you a much more fluent feeling of going through the dungeon. Or fluent. You know what I mean. So, the idea is not to queue up and have the character run through the dungeon automatically. The movement here is, I think, too slow, but I guess the idea is to have this nice graphical effect when you're moving through the dungeon. I'm not sure if this would be the same if you were much faster, so it's a bit hard to judge here. Yeah, but I think faster would be nicer. It makes navigation, yeah, feel not so fun. This has a bit of the speed of this, oh, what's that? It's a teleporter? A bit of this feel with these, in German television we had these, like, telephone games in the, I think, 80s. Or I think internationally you also had this, like, ooh. There was this show called Hugo, right? With this gnome, kobold, whatever, where you had to press keys on the phone to, like, jump or select left and right and something like that. And we also had something similar where you're running through a dungeon, or kind of dungeon, and had to press, okay, I'm taking the right path. And it's, of course, it's slow because it has to react to these inputs. And it feels a bit like that. I'm not quite sure how the mechanic works regarding this here. Because, I mean, we can't really flee. Let's restart. I mean, yes, the first. These are fine. What would have helped in the regarding the movement. Am I actually set back to the start every time? Yes, I think so. So I'm always starting at this point as soon as I touch something. What would have helped is not queuing up, but checking button downs, so that you can have a continuous movement forward, so that I'm not pressing forward 4 times and then it's running on its own, but that I can just hold the forward button, and that would have like a continuous, I mean, it would graphically would look like the same as it does now, but it would be more comfortable to control. I think you kind of need to draw a map here. Right, so now the issue was that it was queued up and I was just running past that. I was pressing forward, 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 forward because I wanted to go forward, but now I go right, no, and I'm past. So yeah, never queue up more than one command. Teleporter. And now we are being reset. I don't quite get like this idea with these strong enemies, because it feels like once I'm encountering them, I'm dead. And I need to get, I mean, I don't have a choice of using this ability with the small ones, because then I will also die. Fleeing is not an option. Yeah, and now I need to start from the beginning again, so it didn't feel like I've got any options there. I can't destroy it. it's just game over at that point, so... Maybe they can go past you, but the vision range is also extremely low. Yeah, it doesn't feel like there's anything I can contribute as a player. As a weapon and to project light. It will destroy small entities, but not large entities. Yes, my vision, of course, with that one, it is increasing the vision, so I could use that to see further. But it doesn't feel like this is really necessary. Or can I actually see them? Ah, okay. Ah, now I see the idea. Okay. So I basically activate them and then I can move past them. Ah, okay. So yeah. I mean, that's good to know. Okay. I get the idea, and of course then I can do something as a player. Nah, dead end. I guess if we can already see the light, that can't be an enemy, I'm not sure. There's the next teleporter. That's the destroyed one. Maybe the different sizes could have different colors or something. I find them very hard to distinguish between strong ones and weak ones. And with that, we already made it. Alright. So, yeah, very interesting entry, very nice visualization. So, let's just start a new game then. So I think from the or let's talk about the perspective and the controls first. So I think the perspective is perfect. We see some of the wall left and right. We even see the floor. I mean, this is not really used in the game. It's, I guess, more for the aesthetics that you're basically centering the horizon right in the middle of the screen. So from the perspective, in any case, it's perfect. The controls, I think queuing up 4 is too much. It should only be queuing up 1. It would be nice if, like, there was a continuous movement when pressing forward, and you have this nice, I mean, well, okay. So you have this nice visualization of how this dungeon is, like, building itself together, right? And I think this would also profit from the continuous movement. And because when you're not queuing up the commands anymore, this would help to generate that fluidity. And I think the movement, I guess, is a bit of a visual style, that it's that slow, and it might also be some balancing thing. but I think like if it was like sped up by 50%, it would still work and feel much better. And then oh, die. Yeah. So I think these things are something where where the controls could be better. Regarding the presentation, the game is basically perfect. The graphics are absolutely great. Everything fits together. Really everything, from the game environment, from the end to the enemies. I mean, yes, you only have like these 2 basic enemy types, but it matches the style perfectly. The interface is great. Your attack is great. And how that's also working together with the sound is perfect. Great music. And yeah, so regarding the presentation, absolutely perfect. The theme implementation, light and dark, yes, and the two-foldedness, I see that. I wouldn't say still that it's a very a very strong point in the game, that everything is centered around, or it has a core point of the game. I think it's more of a basic game mechanic, which you probably would also have used without the topic. Same for the aesthetics. I don't find that too very tight to the theme. I wouldn't say that it's a weak implementation of the theme, but I wouldn't say that it's a very strong one either. So, and regarding the content, I think there could have been a little bit more, maybe more complex levels, like just find something, activate a door, or something. And I think with this graphical style, which is very nice, you could also have played around a bit, like, what do you think how a door would look like in this environment? I think there are some options to do something great with this, like, visual style. So overall, I think that's a very nice entry to the jam. And yeah, I think if the one thing I would change is probably, or the easiest thing to change is probably just the movement speed, make it a little bit quicker, and remove the queue from 4 to just 1. And that should be rather easy changes, which I think would improve the experience. That was Networking by Lane 203M. Did I mention that name before? Did that name change here? Ah, no. Yeah, it's Lane 203M, but it's Mason Lane, A Wink of Sleep. I think I noted down the name when this was first put into itch.io, so it might have been changed. Anyways, Networking, you will find a link down in the video description to the game, and if you're interested in more videos, then you can also find a link to a playlist where I put all the episodes I released so far, and of course you can subscribe to the channel to not miss any of the new episodes. And with that, thank you for watching and hope to see you again next time. Bye bye.